Welcome everybody, it's Taormino here, and today's a great day because SummerSlam 2017 is upon us. And I wanted to create a video to kind of break down my personal predictions on the pay-per-view. There's a ton of matches this year, and if you watch my old pay-per-view review and analysis for Battleground, I was wondering how they're going to play with all the matches possibly involved in the SummerSlam because of so many different championships. Well, they're going to do a 2-hour pre-show. It's going to start at 5 o'clock Eastern Standard. The real show, SummerSlam, is going to start at 7 o'clock. So they are going to have a 2-hour pre-show and a 4-hour pay-per-view. So it's going to be a total of 6 hours. So when you guys watch, get your snacks, get ready, find a nice comfortable spot on your couch or in your bed or however you're going to watch it. It's gonna be a long. It's gonna be a long night. So I have the card, and I wrote some notes down. Is in regards to my predictions on each one of these matchups. I don't know if this is the exact layout of how the matches are going to be displayed through the pay-per-view, but I know the 2 pre-show matches, and obviously I'm assuming that the Brock Lesnar match, the Fatal 4-Way, is probably going to be the one to end it. So the SummerSlam pre-show match for the WWE Cruiserweight title between Neville and Tozawa. Now, Tozawa just won this belt off of Neville on Monday Night Raw, which was a shocker because he's held the belt for quite some time. My prediction of this match, though, is that Tozawa is going to retain the WWE Cruiserweight Championship belt on the SummerSlam pre-show to give more story and character arc to Tozawa's character, as well as Neville's character now that he's the newly dethroned king of the Cruiserweights. The next match, and it sucks as this is on a preview because I love these guys, it's going to be the Usos versus the New Day for the SmackDown Tag Team Championship belts. Now, they announced on SmackDown Live that it's going to be Big E and Xavier Woods who are going to be defending the titles against the Usos. Personally, I don't understand this Freebird rule that they just have a team and they could just pass the belts down. The individuals who won those belts should be the champion. Anyway, that's just my opinion. My prediction is that New Day is going to retain the championships of this match to continue to further the feud with the Usos. It doesn't make much sense for the Usos to win the belts because that would then dissipate the feud because they would have it back and then it would make less sense for the Usos to continually defend it or pass it back and forth like they're doing the United States Championship belt to the New Day. So I think the New Day is going to keep their belts and they're going to continue on their feud with the Usos. Okay, now we're getting into the SummerSlam pay-per-view. Like I said before, I don't know how these matches are going to be laid out, so I don't know if this is going to be the first match or towards the end of the card. I'm not entirely sure, but in regards to the Raw Women's title match between Sasha Banks and Alexa Bliss. As I wrote these notes, it's slightly off, but with Alexa Bliss being so close to being the longest reigning WWE Raw Women's Champion, right now, as I wrote these notes, it was 108 days on 8/16, so I'm recording this the following day, so she's at 109 days as a WWE Raw Women's Champion. The only other person who's held the belt longer was Charlotte, and that was with the Divas Championship belt at 114 days. Actually, so WWE is showing 114 days for Charlotte holding the WWE Divas Championship eventually, which was split into the Raw and SmackDown Women's Championships. I predict that Alexa Bliss is going to retain the belt. She's going to keep the belt at the end of this match because WWE is going to want her to surpass Charlotte to give her as a contender for the longest reigning championship. Also, because Sasha Banks doesn't have much faith in the powers that be in the back of WWE, from what I've read, doesn't have much faith in Sasha Banks because of her previous injuries. They're afraid to put a belt on her again and then have her drop the belt due to an injury. So they're iffy with Sasha Banks. As you remember, Bayley was actually supposed to be the #1 contender for this match, but ended up getting injured. So they kind of threw Sasha Banks in here, which also turns me to believe that Alexa Bliss is going to walk away retaining the Raw Women's Championship. Next, we have the SmackDown Women's Championship title match. It's Natalya versus Naomi. In my opinion, I should stop saying in my opinion, my prediction is Natalya will injure Naomi's leg, because the knee of Naomi has been a focus for quite some time because she hurt her leg legitimately in the past. I think that Naomi is going to win by a very, very, very lucky, narrow margin, escaping multiple submissions from Natalya. But she is narrowly going to escape with the championship belt. So she's going to retain the belt in my prediction. But then we're going to have Carmella that's going to come out. She's going to cash in her Money in the Bank contract. And she's going to continue to work on the already injured leg that Natalya already pretty much destroyed. This is, again, my prediction here. And she's going to end up probably winning via submission on Naomi and walking out the WWE SmackDown Women's Champion. Next, we have the United States Championship match. Kevin Owens versus AJ Styles, special guest referee Shane McMahon. They've already done a good enough job painting Shane McMahon as they don't know how he's going to react as a special guest referee, because he screwed over tons of people before. He already has beef with AJ Styles because they wrestled at WrestleMania and they had a pretty good match together. And then they just continue this, I don't like you, Kevin Owens. I don't like you, Shane McMahon. So they kind of made it somewhat equal, so Shane's on a level of dislike for both opponents here. I think no matter what, Shane's going to get involved at some point in the match. That it's going to kind of continue the rivalry that Shane and AJ Styles had at WrestleMania. I think Kevin Owens is going to win after reluctant Shane will count to 3 after an attack on AJ Styles. So I think Shane McMahon is going to hit AJ Styles with something to a point where it's going to knock AJ Styles out. Kevin Owens will go for a pin, and Shane will count to 3. He'd be reluctant to count to the 3 on the third count because he knows that by slamming his hand down for the third one, he basically gave the title back to Kevin Owens. So I think that's how it's going to play out. And then we're going to have this back and forth between AJ Styles and Shane McMahon that we saw before WrestleMania. Next, we're going to have the Raw Tag Team Championship match from Cesaro, Sheamus and Cesaro, the guys who are the Bar, and versus Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins, 2/3 of the Shield. In my opinion, this has been the best story writing that WWE's done in quite some time. They're doing a really good job with the character development between Seth and Dean together. My prediction is that Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins will walk away as the Raw Tag Team Championships after this match, only after getting physically involved with each other. I think what they're going to do is going to continue on this relationship, almost like what we saw with Daniel Bryan and Kane, where they're going to kind of gel really well together and then kind of sometimes step on each other's toes and beat each other up for it. So it'll spark a little bit of interest, like, oh my goodness, how are they going to act this week, right? So I think Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins will walk away with the championships. And we're going to see like this hot and cold relationship between the two of them build a little bit more, especially now that they have this literal added weight around their waist because it's the belts. I'm sorry, that was a dad joke. So that's what I think. That's what I predict for that match. Next, we're going to have Big Cass versus The Big Show with Enzo Amore suspended above the ring in a shark cage. From what I've been reading online, if anyone is watching this and you clearly know wrestling, Enzo Amore has a lot of heat backstage. If you don't know what heat means, leave it in the comment section below and I'll have to explain it to you. But he's getting a ton of heat backstage, and from what I'm reading, the only reason why Enzo Amore is going to be hung up in a shark cage above the ring is because he's terrified of heights, and they're punishing him for being himself and just getting so much heat backstage. Unfortunately, I don't know if I read a spoiler about this. I don't think it's a spoiler because WWE can rewrite matches and rewrite ending of matches literally right before the match starts. I mean, so any of these things can be tossed up. From what I read, that Enzo and Cass are going to reunite. I know, right? So Enzo and Cass will reunite, making Big Show lose. So Cass will win the match. Enzo will go back with Cass, and they'll be a heel tag team. I don't know how the hell that's gonna get over on the crowd. Cass got some pretty loud boos on the last Monday Night Raw, which was impressive. I don't know how that's gonna work, but we'll see. We'll see what WWE does there. But my prediction is Big Cass is gonna walk away the winner against the Big Show. Next, we have Finn Balor, the Demon King, versus Bray Wyatt. I think that this match is going to be relatively short. It's going to be a lot of focus on the spectacle of the Demon King showing back up. Because we both know that Finn Balor, the way he wrestles is no different when he's in the makeup and has no makeup. At least there's not much difference. So what we're going to see is this huge build-up for the entrance of the Demon King that people are going to want to see. And when it comes down to fighting, it's going to be relatively quick because we're probably going to have long entrances for both Bray Wyatt and the Demon King, Finn Balor. I think Finn Balor is going to win this match in a short amount of time, but my prediction is don't expect the Demon King to last very long because apparently WWE is starting to get the rights for Bullet Club. So we might start seeing the Bullet Club forming on Raw soon. So we'll see what happens with that. Next we have John Cena versus that garbage dump. What was it? The dumpster garbage fire dumpster. I don't know. Dumpster fire. Whatever it was. Baron Corbin. Sorry. I always call him Brian. It's Baron Corbin. I understand. I think John Cena's going to get a loud pop from the crowd, as he always does. It's going to be a hot and cold from John Cena, like some boos, some cheers. But I think that this match is going to be a relatively quiet match from the crowd. This match is where everybody's going to go take a leak. Everyone's going to go get a hot dog, go take a dump. I mean, like, this go get your beer kind of match because nobody really cares. Corbin just lost his Money in the Bank Championship contract to Jinder Mahal on SmackDown Live after he swung at John Cena on the apron after John Cena's match with Jinder Mahal. Jinder Mahal gave him a roll-up, a schoolboy roll-up, and pinned him 1-2-3. Clean victory on Corbin. Now, the rumor before this was that WWE wanted Corbin to be their next big superstar. They were going to start building him up to be this great superstar in the future that the company can lean on, and apparently now that's no longer the case. From what I was reading was that rumors backstage that they have now lost faith in Corbin due to some verbal altercations with John Cena. It wasn't like anything realistic, just his verbal altercations on television with John Cena. They didn't go so well. I guess didn't meet the expectations of what they wanted him to do via backstage. Apparently he also got into some Twitter back and forth with Mojo Rawley, which didn't make him look that well by going through with it. There was also some rumors too that he was blocking some WWE staff members and employees. It might have been directors or writers, I forget, I'm not entirely sure. But apparently he started blocking them from his Twitter. And at that point, it looks like they just said, screw it, and then they made him lose his championship contract and had him lose clean to Jinder Mahal. So, winner of this match is going to be John Cena. Expect Corbin to be put down. Triple H is getting that old shovel back out. And they'll put him down for a while, and we'll see if he comes back out. Next, we're going to have the WWE title match, Shinsuke Nakamura versus Jinder Mahal. Now, while I'd love to see the man from Japan Shinsuke Nakamura walk away the champion? I don't think so. I think WWE right now is building Jinder Mahal into a big heel, something that's going to stick for a long time. They're certainly not going to give him 3 matches over Randy Orton to drop it on Shinsuke Nakamura. Shinsuke Nakamura is great, don't get me wrong. Shinsuke can't really talk much on the mic because he still has his accent. He's still learning English, it sounds like. But I don't expect Shinsuke Nakamura to get the championship this early. My prediction, actually at the end of Battleground, was that John Cena was going to challenge Jinder Mahal at SummerSlam. But that's obviously not the case. It's going to be Shinsuke Nakamura versus Jinder Mahal. My prediction, Jinder Mahal is going to win via pinfall on Shinsuke Nakamura, but it's going to be due to the Singh brothers' distraction. That Shinsuke Nakamura has never fought Jinder Mahal with the distraction there, and I think the distraction is actually going to make Shinsuke lose this match. And then finally, the Fatal 4-Way for the WWE Universal title match. Roman Reigns, Samoa Joe, Braun Strowman, and Brock Lesnar. Now, all these rumors are flying around that Brock Lesnar is probably going to be going back to the UFC, possibly challenging John Bones Jones for the belt. I don't know. There's talk that he's going to do it. Heyman's mentioning, that if Brock loses the championship, they're going to walk away from WWE. He still has the contract through WrestleMania, I think. So what I'm guessing for this match is that you're going to see Brock Lesnar get beat up very early in the match and then roll out and kind of disappear for a while or not be as active in the match while Joe and Strowman and Reigns tear each other apart. And then eventually Brock Lesnar will come in to pick the bones and get a victory on one of the 3. It's probably going to be either Roman Reigns or Samoa Joe. I don't think Brock Lesnar's going to get a pinfall on Braun Strowman. I don't see Braun Strowman getting pinned in this match. So it's going to be Joe or it's going to be Roman Reigns. But I think Brock Lesnar's going to walk out, still retaining his belt. There's a possibility, there is a rumor that John Bones Jones was asking WWE if they wanted him to sit ringside for this match at SummerSlam. So there's a possibility that John Bones Jones could be ringside with his belt, obviously, at SummerSlam watching this match, which would be really, really cool. Also, another reason as to why I think Brock is going to retain the belt here is because if Brock Lesnar does go back to UFC, at least for another fight against John, or however it's conducted, he's going to be walking through all these interviews, all these news spots, all these radio spots, and he's going to have that WWE Championship belt slung over his shoulder for everybody's to see. So what they're going to do is they're going to keep the belt on Brock. They're going to keep the belt on Brock, and it's going to be a marketing piece as he gets thrown through all of these radio interviews and news interviews and just through all this stuff. So when they take pictures of him that he's challenging all these news reports, he's going to have that belt right there, marketing for WWE, making money for WWE. So those are my predictions of WWE SummerSlam 2017. Let me know in the comment section below what you think is going to happen in any particular match, or if you think that someone else is going to walk away with the championship. The Hardys don't even have a match for SummerSlam, which is weird. The Intercontinental Championship isn't being defended, which is odd. And we have stupid matches. I mean, Rusev isn't on here. Oh, wait, we do have a Randy Orton. I skipped it. Oh, Randy Orton and Rusev. They have a match. The crowd falls flat in this match, my prediction. And I think Randy Orton's going to win with an RKO out of nowhere. It's going to be a relatively short match. Boom. Done. All the matches. Those are my predictions. Let me know your predictions in the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching. Tune in next time.